WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, the home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. This is Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at beatbreakradiofm.com. The views and opinions expressed on this program does not necessarily reflect those of Beat Break 87 FM, Reach One Communications, volunteers, staff, and management of Reach One Communications.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another episode of the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk. I am your host, Mario, and I'm coming to you on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, whether you're getting it in the gym, trying to get your swole on, or you're healthy on, or you're hanging out in traffic, or you're just at the crib doing what you do. I truly appreciate you hanging out inside the Random Select Podcast. And as always, guys, if you're liking what you're hearing, and I'm pretty sure that you do, let somebody know. Share, please. Let somebody know that we're out here. You could go to the website, beatbreakradiofm.com, click the Listen Now tab, bring you right into the Random Select Podcast, right where you need to be. You can also find out what's going on in the community. Check the website out. Click the links. It'll take you to TuneIn Radio, where we're streaming live 24/7. Take you to Speaker and iHeartRadio. And don't forget, you can download the Beat Break mobile app, and it'll get you shows on demand, just in case you missed the podcast right now. And don't forget, don't know how long it's going to be in effect, but right now the podcast re-airs Monday through Friday from 10 to 12 p.m. That's for all my second shift people and all my graveyard shift people. If you don't get a chance to catch me right now, I promise you guys I'll be back later tonight. So check that out. And if you want to contact me personally, go ahead and hit me up at randomselect@gmail.com. That's randomselect@gmail.com, and that's select with 2 T's. And as usual, people, you guys know the spiel. We out here on social media, Twitter, Instagram. So if you're trying to reach out, go ahead and reach out. There's no excuse why you can't get in contact with the show, either the Random Select Podcast or Beat Break 87 FM. So we're out here and we're grinding. I got a lot of things I kind of want to talk about in today's show. Don't know which order I will talk about them in, but let me give you a quick rundown. Today I want to ask men and women, at what point do two people decide they want to move in together? What's the time left on that? Or is there any time left? When do you decide that, hey, baby, I'm feeling you, you feeling me, we might as well make it official and move in together? Or are there some people who still believe people shouldn't live together until they're married? You know, you got a certain sect of people out there that believe that as well. So we're going to get into that, as, you know, when is the appropriate time for two people to start living together. We're also going to be talking about, I saw a report on CNN Headline News, which one of those two, that says that over half of all Americans feel alone. So we're going to talk about that. Going to ask the question, do you feel alone sometimes, or do you feel this overwhelming feeling of loneliness? You know, I've heard quite a few people talk about this, and it's not just because you don't have anybody around. I'm talking about you can feel loneliness even when you're dealing with your kids or when you have people around. It's just something about it. They say it stems from the same area of the brain that we feel pain. So we're going to get into that as well, and a lot of other things on the Random Select Podcast. I'm here with you guys for the next couple of hours, so just sit back, relax, and let's just see where this Random Select train goes. I guess I'll start off with talking about do you feel alone? And I've heard so many people say that they could be in a room full of crowded people and they still feel alone. And that never really happens to me. And I've had moments where I feel like I want to hang out with people, but I don't know if it's a overwhelming feeling of loneliness, but I understand that it's a real thing. And I understand that sometimes, especially like women, when they're looking for a mate, a soulmate, someone to be with, and they start feeling that overwhelming loneliness, it can really be a real thing. And sometimes loneliness and being alone help contribute to you making bad dating decisions or bad decisions about the people that you're gonna have in your life. And because it's all spurred upon by the fact that you're alone. It's all drummed up, and it makes you say, you know what? I know that this person may not live up to whatever standard that I have for my life, whatever set standard that I have for people or for a person. But I'm tired of being alone, and right now they're the person here that helps me fill that void. And I know a lot of things are spurred on by that, but even if you're feeling alone, is that the proper way to go? And I know that's easier for me to say because I'm sitting here and I'm not feeling that feeling, and I know that sometimes loneliness and feeling alone can be the gateway to depression. I get that, I understand all of that, and I never downplay that or try to make it seem like, I can't understand why certain people can't get over certain things, because depression is one of those things that sometimes you can see depression coming, but sometimes you don't even know you're depressed until you're actually inside of that. But let's understand, let's try to break it down and understand and see why do a lot of people feel alone even though they have things going on in their life. Is it because it's a certain thing that's missing, even though we got friends and family in our life, but the one thing that you truly deep down inside desire and that you want is not there, which is why you feel alone or you feel, loneliness? You have people who are in relationships, committed relationships, that's been together for years, and then you'll hear the woman tell you that she still feels alone. Because I guess at some point you guys settled into a routine, and now even though the routine is what it is and you've played your part in the routine, you still feel like something is missing. But I never understood, when you get into things like that, why as the people who you're feeling, the person who's feeling alone or feeling loneliness, why don't you come out and tell the person that you with, this is what's going on and this is how I'm feeling. Let's try to make some adjustments and let's try to fix it. And I know a lot of you women gonna say, well, we do go to the men, and the men are stubborn, and then the men try to make small adjustments for the time being, and then you give him a couple days, you give him a couple weeks, and then bam, he's back to being who he is or who he were, So if that's the case, then you got to honestly say to yourself, is the feeling of being alone or the feeling of being lonely, is having that security blanket or having that person in your life more prevalent than that feeling? Because if you feel that you are alone, even though you're in a marriage or a relationship, and you continue to be in this marriage and this relationship, then the relationship or the marriage is more important or more pressing than the feeling of you being alone. So obviously somewhere along the way you have coped or learned to deal with the fact that you feel alone. Now, if you feel that being alone is a major part of your life, a major part of your character, a major part of who you are, and you feel you need to fill that void, then you as a person need to come out and you have to make the change. And I know for us as human beings, human nature makes it hard for us to want to change something that we feel secure with. But sometimes just because something is secure feeling doesn't mean it's secure for you. Because it may feel like the person is taking care of you, paying the bills and doing all the things that help your life feel a little comfortable. But that's just on the financial side of this. But even on the financial side, if you're feeling that good and you're feeling that secure, but you still feel like something is missing, you still come and you lay down next to the person and they're fast asleep and you're still awake and you're looking at that person like it's got to be more to life than this. And if you're next to a person and you're saying to yourself, it has to be more to life than this, then you honestly have to make a change. But now in today's world, we become so comfortable with materialistic and financial things, we will not make a move to feel that void of loneliness or to feel that void of being alone, because we are afraid to not have that security blanket. Because the comfort that comes with being secure, it feels better than the fear of being alone. So a lot of us sit around and we suffer in silence, and we just deal with the feeling of being alone, because the report says that over half of Americans have that feeling of feeling alone. That means that these are people that are in committed relationships. That means that these are people who are professionals who understand what's going on. Some of these people are mental health professionals. Some of these people are doctors, lawyers, psychiatrists, but they feel alone even though they with people. That tells you a lot about that particular feeling, because they say it's the same. It comes from the same region of the brain as pain does. Now, if you got something that's in the same region of the brain, or the same part of the brain that spurs on pain, and it spurs on that feeling of being alone, no one likes to feel pain unless you're a pain junkie, right? So I guess what they're trying to say is that if it causes pain and we do everything in our power to avoid pain, how come we don't do everything in our power to try to avoid the feeling of being alone? Now, you got those people out there that do that, try to avoid not having to be by themselves. You know, like you got those men and women who just can't be alone, just can't be by themselves. Every time you see them jump out of one relationship, they jump to the next relationship, to the next relationship, to the next relationship, and you got those people out there. I mean, and you see it a lot in women, but men do it too. But we do a very good job of trying to cover up our tracks, try to make it seem like we're Papa is a rolling stone, that we get notches on our belt. We go from person to person. And sometimes it's not about notches on our belt. Some guys truly can't be alone. That's why you see them, jumping from person to person to person. And we think that's mostly a woman trait, but it's not. I'm here to tell you 100% it's not. I know a couple guys who just so clingy or so just feel like they just need to be with somebody, but it never seems to work because they squeeze the life out the relationship because they so damn clingy to the woman, and the woman can't deal with that. But then they can't understand why they're alone, because when they do decide to give their heart or give their time or give the effort towards something, they overdo it and then they suffocate the relationship. Now it kind of got me thinking to say that if this comes from the same part of the brain that pain does, and we do everything we can in our life to try to avoid pain, it's kind of an oxymoron, because we don't do everything we can to avoid being alone, because being alone sometimes is something that we as people have come to accept, especially when you get older. That's why you see a lot of women give their life to church. That's why you see a lot of people to dedicate their whole life into their job, and then when they look up, they 65, 70, and then developing in relationships, didn't have any kids, and they was okay with being alone. That's how we get the whole term cat person. When a woman get to the point where she just give up on men, give up on dating, and she go get 5 or 6, 8 cats, and she live that way. That's why you get a lot of people who, once they get to a certain age, they move out somewhere deep into the country to get away from people, because they've concluded and accepted the fact that they are alone, and they've accepted the fact that this is the way it might forever be. So they made the necessary adjustments to their life to ensure that they're going to be alone. So I just don't understand why we don't do more to try to fix the fact that half of Americans feel alone. And it goes to show you about, if you bring in the social media aspect of this, and I say this to my friend Kalada all the time. I tell her, I really believe that social media have saved so many lives as far as depression and suicide go, that we will never be able to quantify. We will never be able to know what the true number is. But because the way some people post, it makes you wonder, what were people doing before this? It gives people an outlet to not feel alone in a weird messed up way, it makes you feel connected. But if people are still saying that they feel alone, it's a fake phantom connection. You know, a lot of the, reason that people do social media say, oh, it keeps us all connected. It does, but in a weird, not really type way. Like I said, it's a phantom connection. It makes it where the information, and you can see pictures about people and you can see little small snippets into their life and give you updates and stuff. But is that really a true connection? Because at any given moment, somebody can block you, unfollow you, or take you out the mix. So it really doesn't make you connected. It makes you connected from the standpoint of information, and news can fly. But anytime I choose not to participate or share my innermost workings of how I'm feeling on social media, then we're instantly not connected. So it got us connected in a way, but at the same time, it's pulling us further apart. The reason people are feeling alone is because you have no real, true human interconnection. You got connections from a digital standpoint. You got connections where you're constantly looking down at your phone or constantly looking at the computer screen. Yeah, that's connected if you feeling, in a weird sort of virtual robot, not real type way, if you want to really put it like that. But the reason over half of Americans feel alone is because we don't have any real connections as far as people coming, sitting down, spending a little time with you and getting to know you, right? It's a reason like when dogs and you have a dog and you spend most time with them and then you die and then the dog feels sad and when they go to the grave, they understand that you're in the grave and they cry. It's because they had a real, true interlocking connection. And that's what we're getting further away from as human beings, which is why most of half Americans feel alone. Because even when you're feeling connected on the social media or whatnot, it's only for a 2-minute video clip. It's only for a little bit when somebody go live. And then most of the time when people go live, it's either a bad connection or they don't stay live long, or everybody doing the generic bullshit, fake, oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up, girl? Hey, how you doing, dude? But, it's fake. It's not really real. And a lot of people are manufacturing the lives, going live for no particular reason. It's not nothing even going on. But because you're so bored and you feel so alone, you feel you have to manufacture a reason to let people into your world virtually, because there's nobody in your world in reality. And that's the thing that I do not get. I do not understand why we crave connection, but not really though. You understand what I'm saying? As humans, we want to be connected in today's world because we just feel like we may miss something. We digitally, and social media wise, we feel that if we're not connected, our day just won't go right. If you really sit down and think about your day on a daily basis, how much time do you spend on one form or another of social media with that phone in your hand? You looking down at that phone. I would imagine that most of us are starting to develop neck problems, starting to develop muscle cramps in our neck, or starting to develop bad posture, starting to have back issues because we spend so much time looking down at the phone. So it's not a point that we are alone. It's just that we're feeling alone because what we're moving far from is human connections. That's the reason everybody feeling alone. It used to be a time where we all would get together, hang out on the porch, and you would watch your mom, them do whatever. You would hang out with your cousin or your friends, and we never felt that disconnect because physically we were around each other. And people don't understand, since the beginning of time, humans were physically meant to interact and connect so we could all survive together. There's only so many stories in the history of the world where you see one person survive for eons. It always was a group of people that got together and survived. So that's why half of America is feeling alone, because there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect to the point where we have become numb with the actual physical human connection. And we have lowered ourselves into a false sense of security, thinking that because we can see somebody update, see somebody's status, see somebody tweet, see somebody gram, DM them, that we're connected. when that couldn't be further from the truth. By us allowing ourselves to be into that false sense of security, that's why we all feel alone, because we can't put our finger on the fact that what's missing is the actual human connection. And that's why we all feel alone. And then you factor in the people who can't find anybody to hang out with, can't find anybody to date, can't find anybody to love. And the first thing we do is we go right to that false sense of security, go to that digital connection where we swipe left, we swipe right, or we read a profile and we click a heart. You know, we check mark and say, oh, we may like this person. And then you say, okay, I think I got me a unique, one of a kind person that I could potentially make a comment with. And then you say, okay, let me take a break from this site. Let me go to the next site. And you see that same 4 or 5 people up there with the same profile, and you thought you had you something unique. When you see that same person on every dating site, dating app that you go, you see the same person. It's like seeing that same person in the club. You go to 5, 6 different clubs, you club hopping, and you see that same person. And it's just done in a digital way now. So when I see this report and they say that half of all America feel alone, we don't have to look far for the answer. We don't have to try to hold panels and have discussions on what's really wrong. The problem is there's no human contact into what we're doing anymore. And our brains have slowly accepted the fact that the way we say we talk to people and the way we say we interact with people is virtual. But your brain can't be fooled into the fact that it's missing human interaction, human contact. That's why so many Americans are reporting that they still feel alone. Because even when the women who say that, okay, I'm being a single mother and I got my kids, you say, well, you got your kids, but people don't understand your kids are your kids. That's something that your brain and your body feel is a duty that you have to do. There's no way around it. It's not the same as having somebody that you hang out with and where you can let your guard down and you don't have to have these mental guards up. You don't have to have all these things you have to be when you be a parent. You just sometimes you want to just totally let your guard down, be silly, be goofy, and just be you when you're around other adults. And I can attest to that because, you know, I took care of my kids for 5 years, you know, by myself with not a woman in the house. And I'm telling you, when you be around your kids, sometimes you just long and you cry and you hope for another adult interaction. You love your kids, don't get me wrong, but you don't want to be your kids 24/7. You don't want your kids to be that all day channel that you're on. You know, at some point you want some variety in your life. You want to turn that channel off and do something else. And I'm telling you guys, that's why this report came out, and that's why I want to talk about it, because I truly feel, I know the reason why. It's because we feel connected on one false sense of security. It's like Facebook and all the social media sites are fake sugar, right? And we've come to accept the taste of fake sugar. And real human interaction is real sugar. We're getting so far away from real sugar that we're forgetting how it tastes. We're forgetting just how much better it is than this saccharin and all this fake stuff. So the social media is the fake stuff. And now you feel this overwhelming feeling that you're missing something because you've accepted the fake stuff. But the real stuff is still out there, but we're getting away from it. And that's your body saying to yourself, hey, look, something is missing here. That's why you're feeling alone, because what's missing is that human interaction, which is the real sugar. And all I'm saying is we got to get back to that. You remember it used to be a time where we didn't have any social media. If you met somebody, you met them out. You met somebody through interaction, whether you rode the train or where you met them at the mall or where you met them somewhere. Now you don't have to leave your house and you can have full-fledged conversations and conversations. You don't have to leave your house. You can have full-fledged relationships with people these days. You never met them. You know, all you did was talk to them, FaceTime them, and then they're calling you every day. How was your day? You know, you got people even telling people that they love each other and they've never met, not one time. So that's the problem. We too busy messing around with saccharin and we missing real sugar. And we noticed that with fake sugar, we know it causes all type of health problems, all type of issues. And right now, one of the issues that the fake sugar is causing is that feeling of loneliness. And that's all I'm saying, people, is that in order for you not to feel alone and loneliness, we got to work our way back to human contact. We got to work our way back to actually sitting down, looking at somebody's eyes, being able to tell what their facial expressions is, being able to tell by their body language and their movement, is somebody lying to you or not, telling if somebody happy or not, telling if somebody has a problem, being able to look in their face and know that something is wrong, being able to look into your woman's eyes and know that, baby, I could tell something is bothering you. What's wrong? Being able to hear how she responds to you, to know that she don't agree with this. Being able to look at her and just see that pure, unadulterated happiness in her face, to know that, yeah, I did right this time. She is happy. And she could do the same for you. And that's all I'm saying, people. That's what's missing. That's why half of America is feeling like they're all alone. Digital contact is good as far as information and maybe keeping tabs on people. But people, make no mistakes about it, that is not a true connection. And that's what I want to tell you, people. That's not a true connection. All right, people, we're going to leave that right there. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Random Select Podcast. You're hanging out with Mario right here on 87 FM. Beat Break 87 FM, Atlanta's new underground station where music and talk radio lives. Catch you guys after the break, and then maybe we'll get into I know for a fact we'll get into it. How long should two people deal with each other before they start talking about moving in with each other? Catch you guys later.
Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
Hi, this is Clifford English, your host and producer of The Gospel Train. Join me every Sunday right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. You will be encouraged, you will be equipped, you will be educated, you will be entertained, all while hearing the best in gospel music. Don't miss your connection with The Gospel Train right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist, Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin P. Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela!
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Right now, Beat Break Radio is taking it to the streets to find out what's happening in your city.
Hello, I'm Amber Lyons, CEO and founder of From Pain to Purpose. Come out on Saturday, May the 19th from 4 to 8 p.m. and join us as we celebrate the youth in our community at our Healing Pains Through the Arts Teen Spotlight Awards. We're shining the spotlight on our youth who have overcome life's adversities, and they're using their gifts and talents to inspire others. Meet us at Green Forest Community Baptist Church, 3250 Rainbow Drive, Decatur, Georgia. Search for tickets now on Eventbrite under Healing Pain Through the Arts Teen Spotlight Awards. Thank you.
We're always taking it to the streets on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
When it comes to hip-hop,
don't stop.
R&B, and talk radio, no one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.
This segment is brought to you by Patrick S. Duncan's latest spoken word project, What's Going On? Enjoy thought-provoking poetry by spoken word artist himself, Patrick S. Duncan. Visit cdbaby.com/cd/Patrick S. Duncan and order your copy today. What's Going On is also available on iTunes.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Guys, welcome back into the Random Select Podcast. I'm your host, Mario. Definitely hope you guys are enjoying the show up until this point. I'm feeling really good, feeling really energetic today. So let's have some fun. Let's talk about a few things, get a few things off my chest. I know in the last segment I talked about when do you know it's time for you and a person to move in with each other? When do you know it's right? Is there a time length, or should you just do it? How should you go about that? You know, and I know in today's world, a lot of people are moving in with each other really, really quick. But I got a story I want to share with you guys. When I was younger, and a situation happened with me, and I think it's, very important for you to kind of get to know somebody and understand if you're ready to make this type of move. But I understand things have changed from back then and to now. But before we get into that story, guys, if you're looking to get in contact with me, hit me up at randomselect@gmail.com. That's randomselect@gmail.com. That's select with 2 T's. Also, you can go to therandomselect.com, where you can find past episodes of the podcast, current episodes of the podcast, blogs and vlogs. Also, guys, you could go to beatbreakradiofm.com, click on the listen now button. It'll bring you right here into the podcast. Where else would you rather be than listening to Mario right here on Beat Break 87 FM? Also, you can find out what's going on in the community. Check out the talent that's on the Beat Break 87 roster. You also can get clicked into TuneIn Radio, where we're streaming live 24/7. Takes you to Speaker and iHeartRadio. So there's no excuse, people, that you shouldn't be tuned in to the Random Select podcast and Beat Break 87 FM. And we're also on the social media. Go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those wonderful places, YouTube. So we're out there. I hear a lot of women saying that they don't want a no good brother, no good man, trying to game them, scam them, and move in with them, because it seems like a lot of guys are trying to leave their current situation and go move in with the woman, right? It seems like that's happening, and it seems like more and more you find more women that's more willing to just let men come in and move in, whether they need help with the kids or whether it's financial reasons, because a lot of people saying they need help paying these bills, they need help up in this house because they're drowning. They tired of doing things by themselves. It would be nice to have someone to help ease that pressure, ease that burden, take that load off you. But that's all good in theory, right? Until you find out that the person you let move in is not taking that load off you, is not easing your burden. Till you find out that the person that you let moving in, you really don't feel that way about. You really don't have that passion for them. But You let them move in because the lure of thinking things would be easier for you for whatever reason, one way or another. Now, if you're moving in because y'all love each other and everything is good and you're trying to find a way, then that's fine. No problem. Have no issues with that whatsoever. But if you're letting somebody move in for all the wrong reasons, it tends to end up falling apart anyway. No matter what type of energy, effort you put into it, if it wasn't done from the right point of view from the get-go, you're going to have issues with it. And I feel a story coming on. Let me tell you a story about what happened to me when I was about 19 years old. Around 19 or 20. I was dating this young lady. And it was back. Sorry, guys. It was back in the early 90s in Atlanta, you know. And that was back before I had a car and things of that nature. We were catching a bus, catching MARTA. You know, let them tell it MARTA is smarter, you know. But I ain't gonna knock MARTA because MARTA served me well back in the day. So big ups to you, MARTA. Definitely ain't ever gonna say anything bad about MARTA because MARTA, I have some fun memories on MARTA. But I was dating this girl and we were kicking it. She was, I had been out of high school like a year or two, and she was fresh coming out of high school. We were only 2 years apart, so I think I was like 21, she's like 19 or something like that. So we kicking it and everything is going good, and I'm thinking that, wow. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my throat today. So we're having a good time. And we're getting to know each other and we're hanging out on a regular basis, but we never had this talk where we said that we're exclusive and we want to just totally be with each other, even though I was spending the majority of my time with her, because I'm gonna be honest, I was feeling her, but I don't know if I was loving her. You know, it's a big difference. So one day she came over to my house, and normally, you know, I would walk her to the bus stop about a certain time so she can get home because she's still living with her mom and her parents, you know. So we get to a point where it's normally that time. So I said, okay, come on, let's go. So she started walking really slow, and we walking toward the bus. Sorry, Jesus. We're walking toward the bus stop. So when we're got like halfway to the bus stop, I look back and I say, why are you walking so slow? And she muttered, I don't want to go home. I said, what do you mean you don't want to go home? You mean you want to spend the night with me? She was like, no, I don't want to go home, period. I want to stay with you. And I'm going, whoa, you dropped a bomb on me right here. I mean, I don't know how to react, because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, don't fix your face to look all like it's nowhere in the hell you staying with me. You got to go. Because at that particular time I had my own place. I was living the bachelor life. I wasn't ready to settle down, period. I mean, I was in no position, no shape to be anybody's boyfriend or main man or anything, because I was living the life. I was 19 with my own 2-bedroom apartment. At that particular time, I was a commodity. I was a catch. So she said, I don't want to go home. And I said, okay, so I think you should go home, and then you could call me and we could talk about it. She said, no, I don't want to go home. She was very adamant about not going home. And we're standing here at the bus stop, and I walked up there with one of my friends. You guys may know him as Decatur May Dave. So I walked up, we got to the bus stop. The bus actually came, and she refused to get on the bus. And at that point, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm sitting there talking to him. She don't want to go home. And he was like, I don't know what to tell you on this one right here. So I said, all right. Even then, I had the forethought to say, hey, look, you need to go back to my house. We need to call your mom, and we need to try to fix this, because if nothing else, you just can't not show up. You know, they're going to be expecting you, so they're going to think something is wrong. And they're going to know that, and they do know that you're with me because I've met the parents, been to the house. And that's why, I can't lie. I got to admit, we was cool. We was really hanging heavy. But I don't know if I was ready for this. So we got back to my house, and she decided to call her mom. And she told her mom, I'm not coming home. And her mom was like, look, don't do this. You don't want to do this. You barely know him. You don't want to move out because you don't know what this may hold. And now she had a job at that particular time. She worked at KFC. She was working, so it wasn't like she was just going to be an albatross around my neck because she had a job. So, so her mom asked her to put me on the phone. And when her mom when she put me on the phone, I told her mom before her mom spoke a word, this is not my doing. I've been trying for the last hour to get her to get on this bus and go home. And then so she said, what happened? I said, she just decided that she did not want to go home. She just wanted to stay here. And I told her, this is not the way to do this. I said, over time, if we decide that we want to kick it and be together, then fine. But this all of a sudden, spur of the moment, this is not the way to handle this. Because I was never, even though I grew up in the hood, I was never that quote unquote thug who was disrespectful and rude. I still believe there's a proper way of doing things. There's a chain of command for the way you do stuff, and I believe in that today. I believe in order of operation. It's just a certain order that you do things. So her dad got on the phone, and he was more aggressive and belligerent, saying, hey, you need to bring your butt home right now. I'm telling you, Gwen, bring your ass home. So when he got on the phone, I said, hey, look, I'm going to try my best to get her to come home, and I'll call you guys back, and I'll see how it goes. So we went to the room, and we talked. So when I asked her, I said, why are you doing this? Why would you put your mom through this? She said that her mom, them were strict, they're church-going people, Christians, and she wanted to live her life. She was graduated high school, so she should be able to make her own decisions and do what she want to do. And coming from a person who's got a bit of a rebellious nature, I was like that too. As soon as I graduated from high school, I told my mom I'm moving out because I don't want to be here because y'all got too many rules, and I'm going to do my own thing. Then I went and got my own apartment. A month after I graduated from high school, I had my own place. That's how dedicated I was to that. I had started saving my money the year before because I knew that I wanted to hell out my mom's place. So then she said, plus I love you and I want to be with you. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure you've had this feeling with it's another guy. What makes me so different? She was like, I never been with another guy in that particular way. You were my first. And then here's the thing. My dumb butt got caught up in that I'm your first, even though I understand now as a grown man, a much older man, a much wiser man, that doesn't mean a whole lot if you're not into that person with your heart, your soul. Being the first is one of those type of things that we as humans get caught up in because we got this weird obsession of want to be the only person to have done this, to want to be the only person to have done that. I want to be the first person to do this, or either the best person to do that, because we got this thing that where we like to separate ourselves from other people. We want to know that if I walk in a room and 100 men is there, I want to feel like all the women are staring at me. Not me per se. I'm just giving you guys an example of how things are. Like when a woman walks in the room, other women hate on other women when they feel all the men are staring at her. And the first thing they say, who does she think she is? Or look at her, she dressed like she going to the club. She dressed like a whore. As humans and human nature, and I get back to human nature because at some point the more and more I do these podcasts, you guys are going to really start to open up your thought process about human nature. Because when you really sit down and think about human nature, you really will see that human nature is a very fickle beast. Sometimes you could conquer human nature, and sometimes human nature just take you out back and just beat the hell out you, you know? So I got caught up in the fact that she said that she loved me. She said that I was her first, and I wasn't feeling like I loved her. I was loving my bachelor life, come and go as I please, you know, have women over whenever she wasn't around. But somehow in that moment, she broke me down, as they say. She broke me down to my very last compound, and I fell for the okie doke. I fell for what they call the moment. I got caught up in the moment, and I allowed this to happen. And I said, okay, well, we could potentially make this work. That's what my mouth said, but my brain and my heart wasn't saying that. My brain and my heart was saying, what are you doing? Are you a fucking fool? What are you doing? You know you don't feel that way about her. Then I told myself that maybe over time I could grow to love this girl, you know, grow to, you know, want her around on a daily basis. Because I know back then I had a short, you know, patience thing, you know, after a certain amount of time. Hey, look, I want to refresh. I want to switch it up. I want something different because that's the way that I had kind of been raised to say, hey, look, once the woman gets stale, you replace her, you move on. And now, is that a folly in my personality? Is that a flaw in my personality? Yes. Is that a character flaw? Yes. Have I worked hard to change that? Most definitely. Because as time go on, you grow up, you understand, and you realize what happened. But as time went on, we start to have all type of problems because she saw things one way, and I knew things to be truly another way. So as time went on, we never saw eye to eye because I never truly felt like this is what I wanted. I always felt like this was forced and thrust upon me. So I could never truly dedicate myself to the relationship because it's a relationship that I did not want. And did a lot of problems come up because of me? Yes, because I was still selfish and I still didn't sit her down and be honest and be truthful, saying this ain't what I want. I should have never let her stay. I should have just let her go back to her mom and just say, hey, look, I know you feeling whatever way, but you can't stay here. But because I got caught up in the moment, I was a victim of the moment. I allowed something to happen that never should have happened, and ultimately all we did was waste time. All we did was hurt each other, and all we did was drive a wedge between each other, and we did things that we shouldn't have done, even though we know we weren't like that, you know? And the reason I say this all to say is that we ended up having two kids. You know, the first child, she, you know, lost. We lost together, you know, our son Mario Jr., right? And then out of guilt and out of just feeling like I'm the one that was the reason why she lost the child, I said, hey, let's try again, right? And even during those times, I still felt like this is a place I shouldn't have been because I was forced into this. And the reason I'm saying all this is to say, when you allow people to come into your home and come into your life, you end up opening up all type of doors, and you end up knocking all type of dominoes down that wasn't originally meant to be knocked down, and you open up doors that wasn't originally meant to be open, because it was all spurred upon for the wrong reason. And people blame other people for things that they do when ultimately it couldn't have happened if you didn't facilitate it, right? A woman will let a man come in, and when she had a feeling that he may not be the right person, she had a feeling that he kind of a slacker, maybe can't take care of his responsibility, maybe have issues with money, Let him come in, let him live, because she's, I guess her back is up against the wall, or she desperate, or she feel that he just may be able to help her with these bills, or she just may be able to turn him around. And then when it doesn't go right, she want to blame the man. Now, don't get me wrong, he takes some blame for not doing what he's supposed to do, but ultimately, you knew that this was not the right man. You knew that this was the capabilities inside of him. Now, I'm not talking about the woman who the man came in and played the role and he did everything he was supposed to do and he just fooled you. No, I'm not talking about that man. I'm talking about that man that you had suspicions and you had concerns about from the get-go, and you still moved him in. And then you want to complain when it go bad, when ultimately, if we're being totally honest with ourselves, the reason it went bad was because you allowed it to. You should never let this entity come into your life and come into your world. So that's the point I'm making. If you decide you're going to move in with somebody, just make sure it's done for the right reason. And also, what's the time limit on it? You know, I've seen people get together and they move in after 3 months of knowing each other. You know, I've seen some people, depending on what the story, that the man telling the woman she let him move in after a week because, you know, she, for whatever reason, got caught up into the promises that he made, or got caught up into the flashy things. Don't know what the reason is, but time is one of those type of things where I know you and a person might be vibing. I know you and a person might be feeling like y'all got great energy with each other. I get that. I'm not immune to the fact that I understand shit happens. You know, I'm not saying that, because stuff do happen. I mean, it's been some situations in my life where I'm telling you, at the moment it felt right, it felt good, and nobody couldn't tell me different. It felt like this was supposed to be. And then ultimately, you know, it falls apart. Ultimately, it turns into chaos. But at the moment, it's not a damn thing anyone could have told me that would made me have done anything different, because it felt so wonderful, felt so right. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm up here preaching and standing on the soapbox and saying I'm not human, and saying that I didn't participate in stuff like that and stuff like that never happened to me in my life, because I'm telling y'all that it has. I'm telling y'all that I had some things that turned out horrible, right? But in the beginning, I would have fought anybody who would have told me that it would have turned out horrible, because it felt so right at the beginning. And we all human, because in our minds, we want what we think is that perfect union, that perfect relationship, that perfect thing. But I think now, as we get older and we understand the way the world works now, we all are starting to get into the point where we realize there's no perfect thing. So now we're starting to look for bits and pieces of things that we could deal with, that we know we need in our life in order for us to survive. So no longer is the woman looking for the perfect man. She's looking for the man that can bring some stability to the household. She's looking for the man that not perfect, but he could perfectly pay his part of the bills. You know, and the man is not looking for the perfect woman anymore, who cooks, cleans, take care of household, make sure everything is right. Now we looking for the perfect woman that could potentially take care of us. If I could go out here and blow my money, screw my money up, and I know she got my back, because we've come to the conclusion that the women are making all the money, the women are going to school, the women are getting the education. So we all have adapted, we all have shifted, we all have changed. And it's not because we purposely sit down and say, hey, this is what we're doing. Just over time, we automatically, as humans, as species, as a race, evolve, change, adapt. And I'm just telling you that before you make that move to have somebody come into your world and totally turn your life upside down, whether it be through infidelity, whether it be through financial hardship, think about the reason that you're letting somebody in. Because ultimately, you feel like you might be struggling now, but once you bring this person in and he's really not helping you, he's really not bringing anything to the table, not bringing anything to the household, but yet and still, he's actually going to take you down a couple notches. Try to look at that and predict that and see that up front before you allow this to happen, because ultimately all you're doing is avoiding going through a worse situation than you're in now. It may seem hard now, but at least you got yourself to depend on, and if something don't go right, it all starts and ends with you. But if you bring somebody else in and then it don't go right, y'all both sitting around looking at each other, now you harboring resentment, looking at this person saying that I'm worse off now that you're in my life than I was when I was by myself. How is that possible? I specifically brought you in so you could complement my life and so life wouldn't be harder. But ever since you've been here, it seems like I've taken 2 steps backwards. And you supposed to be the person that eased this pressure off of me, taking this load off my back. But instead of taking the load off my back, as I was going up that hill, you jumped on my back and made it harder. Now I got to take me, my kids up the hill, the house up the hill, and you too. So if I have to do all of that, then I got a sad reality for you. You got to go. And then that's where a lot of this ends up most of the time. And then the person who leaves you, especially if you got a deadbeat man, when he leaves, he never say, okay, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to get my own place. I'm going to leave here and go get my own place. No, they end up back with family members. They end up back on their mom's couch, uncle's basement, staying with a cousin. Because that's the type of man that you got from the get-go. And the same thing as the man. If you look at it on the man's side, if you got a woman and she's supposed to be complimenting, a lot of times she figuring you when she come to live with you is that you got this. She feel that her job is to pretty much look pretty and maybe cook for you. And by the way, I'm just telling you guys, as time go on, less and less women know how to cook. And I'm just saying this from listening to all the emails and all the responses that I get from a lot of different men. It's just a weird place that we're in right now. So I know you think you might be financially struggling, women, but beware of the man who's so quick to want to move in with you, you know? And I know men, she might be fine, she might be pretty, and you feel she might be a catch, that's your trophy chick, that's your dime piece, you know, but be careful, you know, because take some time, because when you live with someone, you can get away from them. No, when you don't live with someone, you can get away from them and have a peace of mind. But when someone lives with you and you start to not feel them, there's no getting away. You got to see them all the time. And I would imagine for a woman to look at a man that you're not feeling and he's laying in the bed and you not feeling him no more, he's not doing what he got to do, that's how you end up feeling like you're alone, like I talked about in the first segment. That's how you end up feeling that way when that person is no longer bringing anything to the table, bringing anything to the household, bringing anything to the kids. That's how you end up sleeping next to a person, but you still feel all alone. So I'm just saying, take some time, people. Think about the person that you're moving in, because that's your home space. That's your place you get away. And when you have no place to go, what do you do? All right, guys, we're going to leave that right there. We're definitely going up against the break. You're listening to the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk. I am your host, Mario. We're right here on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Catch you guys after the break. And when we come back from the break, ain't no telling what we may talk about, you know? So stay tuned. Keep it locked.
This is Atlanta's new underground station.
How you doing? This is Wood Harris.
Hi, this is Jasmine Guy.
What's going on in Atlanta? This is Clifton Powell.
Hey guys, it's Niecy Nash from TV Land's The Soul Man.
This is Cat Williams.
Check this out. This is your boy RL from NEXT.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Lunel.
What's up, ATL? It's your girl Ken of Atlantic Records.
Hi, I'm Taraji P. Henson.
WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
A Reach One communications station.
Download the TuneIn app to hear Beat Break 87 FM on your mobile device and listen to the Beat Break Morning Show. Weekday mornings only on Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
What's up, ATL? Make sure that you check out the D Here Radio Show on Beat Break 87 and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Tune your radio.
Tune in.
Now.
You can tune into this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones,
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world. Check it out at TuneIn.com.
Or your app store.
Hey world, it's your man Precise. And I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the app marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist, Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin T. Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela!
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Right now, Beat Break Radio is taking it to the streets to find out what's happening in your city.
Hello, I'm Amber Lyons, CEO and founder of From Pain to Purpose. Come out on Saturday, May the 19th from 4 to 8 p.m. and join us as we celebrate the youth in our community at our Healing Pains Through the Arts Teen Spotlight Awards. We're shining the spotlight on our youth who have overcome life's adversities and they're using their gifts and talents to inspire others. Meet us at Green Forest Community Baptist Church, 3250 Rainbow Drive, Decatur, Georgia. Search for tickets now on Eventbrite under Healing Pain Through the Arts Teen Spotlight Awards. Thank you.
We're always taking it to the streets on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
Wake up weekday mornings to the Beat Break Morning Show and nod your head in bed to the 360 Mix Show. Weeknights on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, guys, welcome back in from the break. You're listening to Mario Inside the Random Select podcast right here on Beat Break 87 FM, Atlanta's new underground station where music and talk radio lives. Hope you guys have been enjoying this show so far. It's been a cool show. The first part of the show, we talked about being alone. Second part of the show, we talked about when is a good time to have somebody move in and the reasons why you should or shouldn't have somebody move in. So we're moving right along. In this portion of the show, I just want to talk about a few things that I've seen in the news, seen out and about. So we're going to jump right into that and talk about that. But hey, real quick, share if you like the show. Let everybody know that we're out here grinding. Go to the website, beatbreakradiofm.com. Go to therandomselect.com. We're on TuneIn Radio streaming 24/7. So if you go to the website right now, beatbreakradiofm.com, click that listen now button. It'll bring you right into where you need to be, and where you need to be is right here inside the Random Select podcast with Mario, listening right now. So if you would like to contact me, go ahead and hit me up at randomselect@gmail.com. That's randomselect@gmail.com. That's select with 2 T's. Let's talk about the grandma, that got locked up for slapping her grandchild, and come to find out the reason that she slapped her grandchild was because she said she was tired of her grandchild sleeping all day and soaking up all the air conditioning. And when I read that, I said that goes automatically into the category of what we need to talk about. What it reminds me of is old school grandma, old school big mama, where you couldn't run through the house, couldn't leave doors open. You're trying to air condition the whole neighborhood, couldn't stand in front of the TV because your daddy didn't make glass. All those type of things, just remind me of a time that has long since gone by. Old school big mama, head of the household, undisputed champion of ass whooping, And I thought about this and I said, this is a sign of the times that things have definitely shifted and changed in our culture and our society, because this woman got locked up for slapping her grandchild. Someone physically came to the house and locked this older lady up for trying to instill some discipline and trying to make sure the household is run right. And I know you got you tree-hugging liberals and your conservatives out there who believe that a parent shouldn't touch a child, period, that you shouldn't whoop your kids, and I understand that. That's well within your rights, but be prepared for the consequences of when your child grow up to be one of them little bad fucks out there. So I'm not saying that, and this is just my personal opinion. You got the right to raise your kids however you see fit. I'm not telling nobody how they should do it. But if you're under the impression that putting your hands on your child or giving your child a spanking, I'm not saying beat your kids, I'm saying giving them a spanking or whooping. If you're under the impression that that's going to make your child turn out a certain way, then that's on you. Look at all the kids in this world, all the people from our generation got butt whippings who understand the value of what's going on in life. If you look at a lot of the crimes that are being committed, if you look at the average age, it's young people that's doing this stuff. It's not people our age. So, and that's not to say that the people our age not committing crimes. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you look at the overall package of the numbers and look at how things are being wrapped up and presented to us, it's the 35 and under crowd, that's doing that. And if you really want to go by heinous crimes, it's the 30 and under crowd. So I was just happy to see that we finally had old school grandma say, hey, look, you being a lazy bum, get up off your ass and do something. Because if you ain't gonna get up off your ass, you're not gonna sit around here using up all this air conditioning running my damn bill up. And I'm telling you, it brought a smile to my face. It made me love it. It made me love it so much to the fact that I went to look up this case to see if this grandmama still in jail, because I was going to definitely contribute something to getting her out of jail. I was going to donate my personal money, my effort to try to get her out of jail, but I found out she had already been released. But I still want to try to reach out to her to find out if she need anything. Can I help her out? Because what she did is what's missing to these kids. And by the sheer fact that the kid felt the need to call the police on her lets you know that the generational shift has happened. is no longer in transitions, or we say, well, these kids are gonna be. No. It's no more gonna be. These kids are. It's no more one day. These kids are there. They have arrived to a bunch of ungrateful little bastards, and that's where we're at. You know, not all kids, but I'm just trying to tell you the majority of the kids. And once again, people, I'm not judging you. I'm not talking about your kids. Anytime I bring anything to you guys or tell you about any particular situation, I am including myself and or my kids in it. So I'm not separating myself from you guys. I'm not on this podcast and on this radio station trying to act like I'm above the crowd, or I'm talking by separating myself from you guys. Anytime I talk, I'm talking about myself is right there in the barrel with the rest of the crabs, pulling people down, other people trying to keep me from climbing out the barrel. So don't get all twisted and hot and saying that Mario thinks he's high and mighty, think he's better than anybody, better than everybody. No, I don't think I'm better than anybody. I think, matter of fact, we're all right there on the same track, running, trying to survive. And hopefully you finish high enough in the race that you can potentially have yourself a decent life. That's the way I just see things. You want to call me out on it? Fine, do it. Leave me a message at randomselect at gmail.com. Go to the Facebook page, like it, follow, leave me a message there. Go to the Twitter, leave a comment there. Instagram, let me know if you agree, disagree with me. I would love the feedback. I may not have to agree with everything that you say, but I will agree with your right to say it. That's why we live in such a beautiful country. But I was just happy to see that a grandmother finally would stand up for what she believed in, some discipline, saying that if you want to be in this household, this how things has to run. And I'm tired of so many people just saying, well, what about the kids' rights? What about the kids' rights? Until you become an adult and you paying your own bills, your rights or whatever rights whoever taking care of you put forth to you, that are your rights. Call it what you want. Say what you will. Yes, I believe in doing it the old school way. I believe if we didn't have no remote, you stand there and you change the damn channel. That's where we used to be when we was coming up. We didn't have remote, you changed the channel. You didn't have, back in the day when your mom had record players, they used to put on their old 45s and their albums. You changed those. And nowadays you ask a kid to do anything for you. They turn their mouth up, they fix their face a certain way, and then they act like you bothering them. Make all these noises, do I have to, and ask you questions like why. When I was coming up, if you ever asked my mom why, oh man, I couldn't even imagine what the consequences would be. By the time you wake up, it'll be time for your graduation. Somebody be fitting you for cap and gown. When you come up out that coma, you'll start off at about 10 when you say why, and then when you wake up, they'll be fitting you for your cap and gown. I'm just saying that I'm glad to see that this happened, and it's good to see, and that there is hope for old school big mamas, and I appreciate the fact that she did that, but going forward now, here's the thing. Now that all this controversy and all this attention has been brought to this household from the media and people like me, will the girl or boy or the grandchild that she slapped, would that make them want to get up and do something now? Will that make them want to get up and do something with their life now that they see, the whole world sees that, you've been a bum and your old grandmama got to slap you around just to make you get up and get out and get something? Sitting up in the house wasting my damn air conditioning. She done lost her damn mind. I can imagine what the conversation was before she went up to the room, I would imagine that's exactly what it was. That girl still up there asleep? Wake Karen ass up. Oh, she don't want to get up? Okay, I got something for her. Wasting my damn air conditioning. I would imagine that. That's pretty much how it went, So kudos to the slapping grandma. I just wish that I could, get in contact with her and ask if she needed anything. And if she did, I would be more than happy to help her out. Old school big mama, baby. There is hope out there for the big mamas. And a few of y'all women out there who's transitioning to being early grandmothers and great grandmothers, learn something from this. One day wake up and decide you want to be the matriarch of of the family. Decide you want to be the big mama, because technically you are. So act like it, you know? All right. That's another story that I ran across that I found that was really, really, really weird, you know? This lady went out with a guy, right, for one date. I guess they met on a social site or one of those, you know, swipe to the left things. I forgot what it's, Tinder, you know. Guess they met someone like that, and they went on one date, and she became obsessed with this man. She decided that she was going to start stalking him. And the news reports that she sent this guy over 65,000 text messages. Yeah, you heard me, but just in case you didn't hear me, let me just repeat what I said. She sent this guy over 65,000 text messages. So either one, this lady is unemployed, or they don't mind her being on the phone at work, or she just totally have nothing else better to do with her life. So before we go any further, let's just all assume that she's operating under the moniker, or she's very dysfunctional, or she has some type of mental thing going on. So let's just for once, can we all agree that we can all assume that if you send somebody 65 text messages after going on one date, that your elevator don't go all the way to the top floor, right? Can we all just agree on that? Right? Can we just agree on that? That her elevator does not go to the top floor if you send somebody over 65,000 texts. I don't know who counted them. That's a lot of text messages for someone to say, hey, let me count. Did they have a phone company count that? And were they long text messages, or was it just like, hi, hey, bye? You know, I guess you can get up to 65,000 if you really put some effort in it, and if you just leaving really little short messages. But if they were long drawn out love letters because she was stalking him, then I can understand why, this is crazy. But that's just one part of the story. Here's the other part of the story. Since I said we need to agree upon that she was certifiably, loony or something not right with her, they say she would send some text messages saying that she would like to bathe in his blood and wear his body part as, clothes, stuff like that. So, for all your people that was saying that maybe she was just in love and maybe, no, that statement right there alone lets you know she was certifiably something not right with her. We just, like I said, we're going to operate under the moniker that she's not right. I said that for a specific reason to set it all up, because she's fucking not right, One date, I said he must have charmed the goddamn pants off of her. I mean, he must have looked her dead in her eyes and told her, baby, there is no other person. There's only you, baby. So if you ever think about being with another man, I would just die right here where I stand, baby. I need you. I got to have you, baby. And when you leave tonight, just know I'm thinking about you. You headed to your car? Please don't leave me, because I'm suffering from separation anxiety, baby. I just can't stand to have you out of my sight, because even though I just met you, this is one date. I love you, girl. I mean, he must have told her something like that. And not only did he say it to her, she must have totally 100% hook, line, and sinker bought it and believed it for her to act the way she did. And like I said, this is just a part of the story, right? Let's just go with they saying she stalked him after one date. Let's just say she sent him 65,000 text messages, right? Let's just say in some of those text messages, one of the text messages were, I want to bathe in your blood and wear your body parts like skin, right? Here's the part that, if that didn't already make you feel a certain way about her, make you think she was certifiable, here's the last part of this story. She decided that she was going to break into his house and bathe in his bathtub. I guess because she thought maybe that would make her feel closer to him or something like that. So a lot of times you women say, hey, be careful of the men that you date, because some of these men are crazy. Some of these men are psychos and they stalking. Well, like I told y'all, things happen, people evolve, people change, and everybody is starting to be a certain way where there's no rhyme or reason or rules for anything that we do anymore. Anything that comes up, somebody feel that some type of way we need to top it. I could do better than that. I could be crazier than that. I could be more disgusting than that. I could be freakier than that. You know, I could run better than that, jump higher than that, look better than that. We always got to outdo each other and out-top each other. So I don't know what the hell he told her after one date to make her feel like this is going to be my man. I have found the one and nothing else will do. Nothing else matters. This is what I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket, put all my chips toward the middle of the table, and I'm going all in and I'm going to get my man. And not to mention that when you send a person 65,000 texts, you're probably ruining your chances with that person, because us men, we normally say that woman crazy. Well, this time this guy could say that, and he could say it with confidence and truly mean it. That woman was crazy. Now, normally we say that because a lot of times we say that as a defense mechanism because y'all won't let us get over on y'all and do stupid stuff to y'all. But this time I'll give him a pass because she was truly crazy. So I just would like to know, what was the conversation like when he came in the house and saw her bathing in his bathtub? I mean, now, if you one of them weird, crazy type men, you probably would have found that fascinating and think, oh, this is romantic, or, oh, she really want a piece of this, that she in my house and she bathed in my tub since she already butt naked. That means sex tonight. You know, so a lot of men probably would have think like that, because it's something about seeing a woman butt naked in your domain and you didn't have to talk out her clothes, trick her, or convince her to do anything like that. That turns us on. All right, let's face it, most butt naked women turn us on. I mean, no matter where they at, you know, but that's just the nature of the beast, you know. So I give him credit. I mean, if he called the police and then got him out there and then she did get arrested, you know, I give him credit for not falling for she butt naked. So let me just forget all the other stuff, because that's what a lot of men do. You know, as long as a woman coming to you from a sexual standpoint, you tend to forget that she sent you 65,000 text message. She decided that she want to go down on you, give you a little head, you know, make sure her head game tight. You tend to forget she said that she want to bathe in your blood and where your body part is skin, you know, where your body parts is skin. So, and you know, she decided that, oh, you know, she gonna ride you off into the sunset. You tend to forget she been stalking you. And this all after one date. So if you the man, either this could do several things to you, you know, put you in several different put your mind in several different places. Either one, you think you got one hell of a game because after one date, you pretty much broke her. You know what I'm saying? You overloaded her brain. You made it where she can't come back. You broke her, you know, even though chances are she was already on the road to being broke. Or you go into a mental space where you go, I got to pull back. I done ran into this crazy woman and this turned out horribly wrong. This is some Stephen King, Night on Elm Street type stuff. So I have to reevaluate how I am as a man. So, but I give him credit. He called the police, but most men will take it as, you know, a pat on the back. You know, let me tell you something, player. My game's so tight, you know what I mean? Player, after one date, I be having them women stalking me, you know what I mean? See, he'll look at it like that if that was a black man, you know what I mean? Now, let me just say, there was a white woman. I don't know what color the man was. I'm just gonna assume white, you know, but I could be wrong, you know. It wouldn't be the first time, and it definitely won't be the last time I was wrong. But when I saw her mugshot, I was like, yeah, you know, and I've been saying this for a long time. God is funny, right? God has a sense of humor, and sometimes we be saying, okay, God made a mistake, but sometimes for his mistakes or when we perceive him to make mistakes, sometimes he'll put little chinks in the armor to let you see one of the mistakes that he made. Because you notice every time somebody be a serial killer, sometimes they be crazy, they always have this look on their face like God was trying to tell you, hey, whenever I make a major mistake and give somebody some flaws that can't be fixed, and they just came off the assembly line that way, I try to stamp them with a crazy ass look on their face. I try to stamp them to let you know that he don't look right. Because sometimes when people don't look right, let's face it, they aren't right. Because the one thing I've learned about crazy, they can't hide the way they are. They don't, because crazy don't know they crazy. So sometimes crazy looks on people's face can't be hid because they don't know they crazy. So they just come in, they just look crazy. You ever seen, like when they go take those mug shots, it's almost like a mug shot. That whatever camera they use for the mug shot is like the God's camera, right? It's like the camera that the God personally put in the police station. When they take the mug shot, then they look all crazy. They look crazy. And then you be like, she went out on a date with him. That fool looked crazy. But, sometimes that's the way it is, maybe she couldn't see him because, the God's camera ain't in everywhere. It seemed to only be at the police station. Seemed to only be the police mugshot camera. It's the only camera in the world that can pick up the crazy looks on their face. Cause when they be taking those shots, they be looking crazy as hell where you be saying, baby, I know you might be lonely. I know it might been a while since you've been on a date, but look at him, baby. He looks crazy. So that's why I always tell people God has a sense of humor. You just got to pay attention to when he tells the joke so you can know when to laugh, because, that's the world we live in, but kudos to this man for calling the police and not falling for the old butt naked in the bathtub trick, y'all women love to put that old butt naked in the bathtub trick. He'll forget everything if he come home and find me butt naked in his bathtub. Works every time. But yeah, it didn't work this time. He called the police and got himself, got her arrested, and now she's out of jail for breaking and entering, stalking, making malicious threats against the person. So let's just face it, she's probably not going to do any time, or if it is, it's probably only a couple months and that's it. It's probably just going to boil down to a misdemeanor, time served, some type of class that she's going to have to take, and that's that, so that's that. And one last thing before we go to the break, I got about 3 minutes here. I want to talk about Mr. Trump real quick. And I know that I normally don't talk about Trump on this show, but in a weird sort of way, Trump is not right or suited or fit to be president, right? But it just seems like the more he do stupid stuff on one hand, he's starting to do stuff kind of right on the other hand, which is a weird kind of dynamic. In his personal life, he got all type of accusations and stuff going all around him. He got the Cohen stuff, the Comey stuff, the Stormy Daniels stuff, all the stuff, lawyers quitting, everybody quitting all around him. And every time you look up, the crew that he running with is different because everybody understand that, wow, it's true what they say. If you lie down with a dog with fleas, you gonna get fleas too. So a lot of people are quitting and trying to get rid of those fleas. They understand that. That's why so many people are coming and going in Trump's cabinet, and so many people are just saying, you know what, I don't this whole thing just stink. I'm gonna get away from this so I don't have this stench on me, this filth. I don't want to play in the dirt. But when it comes to stuff like he's North Korea, seems like he's gonna make a progress that no other president has been able to do. The labor laws and trade laws. It's just weird. He's a messed up person from a get-go, but some weird messed up fantasy type way he's getting things done. And no, I'm not saying that I'm for him. I'm not saying that he's we should not, after his 4 years is up there, and I think he should be done because, with this whole Make America Great Again. But he's getting stuff done. And I know you guys are like, well, what he's getting done, and want me to go into detail, but I don't. I just wanted to spend a little time on that right there and just to tell you that look a little closer at to, what he's doing. He's getting stuff done. And no, I'm not a supporter. No, I'm not saying re-elect him. No, I don't like him at all because he just says some ignorant things and stands for a lot of ignorant stuff. But I do believe in, getting the job done, and a few things he's come through on. Not everything, but a few things he's come through on. If you look at his presidency, he's trying to make it happen, and that's all you can ask somebody, right? All right, I'm back to reality. Nah, get that fool out of office. Yeah, okay, that's all I wanted to say about that. All right, guys, we're definitely going up against the break. Thank you for hanging out with me in the Random Select Podcast. It's the podcast is all about thought-provoking talk. I am Mario, and coming up in the next segment, people, we're going to get you home. We're going to set it all up for the Brass King, and he's going to get you riding out with the Rush Hour Mix. All of that coming up next. Stay tuned, guys.
Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
Hi, this is Clifford English, your host and producer of The Gospel Train. Join me every Sunday right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. You will be encouraged, you will be equipped, you will be educated, you will be entertained, all while hearing the best in gospel music. Don't miss your connection with The Gospel Train right here on Beat Break 87 FM radio. BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Hey world, it's your man Precise, and I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist, Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin Keith Montgomery. I invented a boat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela!
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Right now, Beat Break Radio is taking it to the streets to find out what's happening in your city.
Hello, I'm Amber Lyons, CEO and founder of From Pain to Purpose. Come out on Saturday, May the 19th from 4 to 8 p.m. and join us as we celebrate the youth in our community at our Healing Pains Through the Arts Teen Spotlight Awards. We're shining the spotlight on our youth who have overcome life's adversities, and they're using their gifts and talents to inspire others. Meet us at Green Forest Community Baptist Church, 3250 Rainbow Drive, Decatur, Georgia. Search for tickets now on Eventbrite under Healing Pain Through the Arts Teen Spotlight Awards. Thank you.
We're always taking it to the streets on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
When it comes to hip-hop,
Don't stop. Bring it back.
R&B, and talk radio. No one does it better than Beat Break 87 FM.
This segment is brought to you by Patrick S. Duncan's latest spoken word project, What's Going On? Enjoy thought-provoking poetry by spoken word artist himself, Patrick S. Duncan. Visit cdbaby.com/cd/Patrick S. Duncan and order your copy today. What's Going On is also available on iTunes.
This portion of Beat Break Radio is only suitable for mature audiences and not suitable for young audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
All right, guys, we're back in from the break. We're on the home stretch, final portion of the show before I get up out of here and I turn it over to the Brass King. Just want to tell you guys, for real, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for spending your time with the Random Select podcast right here on Beat Break 87 FM. I truly appreciate it. Without you guys, there could be no me. Well, there probably would be a me, but you guys make it so much more fun. Thank you once again. If you're feeling this, people, please share. Don't forget the show does re-air Monday through Friday from 10 to 12 p.m. right here on Beat Break 87 FM. So for all my second shift people and all my graveyard shift people, spend a little time with your dude, you know what I mean? Then let somebody else know that you're out here. If you're sitting back, you're listening to it at work, click it on in the office. Let your other co-workers hear what's going on with the Random Select podcast. You might just turn them into a fan, turn them into a listener. You know what I mean? Truly appreciate that. And as usual, guys, if you got things going on and you just want to talk to me about it, go ahead and hit me up on email, randomselect@gmail.com. That's randomselect@gmail.com. That's randomselect, and that's select with 2 T's. Or if you're my personal friend, go ahead and hit me up on that Facebook Messenger, you know. If you go to the Facebook page and like the page or follow, you can hit me up on that messenger. That way you want it to be instant. I try to respond back as quickly as I possibly can. Just depends on what's going on in life, or if I'm recording. Then obviously it's going to take a little while for me to get back to you. Don't forget to go to therandomselect.com. There you can find past episodes of the blogs, past episodes of the podcast, all type of good stuff. And last but not least, guys, check out beatbreakradiofm.com, where you can go on there, check out everything that's going on inside the Beat Break 87 universe. Click the listen now, it'll bring you right here to where you need to be, right here listening to little old me. Don't you want to hear it? Come on, don't you want to hear it? All right, now we got all of that out the way. You guys know what to do. I've been saying it for a while now, so at this particular point, all the loyal listeners, y'all know what to do. But I wanted to close the show out with this last little thought, this last little thing I wanted to get off my mind, because a friend of mine just yesterday told me that now this is a middle-aged woman who's got 3 kids, been divorced, and she told me just yesterday that she's just so tired of going through the rigmarole by herself, tired of feeling alone, tired of being lonely. And I know in the first portion of the show I talked about why people are alone, but that's just my take on, you know, why we feeling alone. But it's a difference between feeling alone and actually being alone, you know, 2 different things. And I started to think about what she said, because as a man, sometimes because we are wired different from women, we tend to don't let our brain go certain places. Not all men, but some men, you know, do let their brain go certain places, and some men we just don't. Some men only look at things from the topical level. We never decide to go 3 levels deeper, you know. We just stick to surface, and that's not no knock on men. That's just the way we're built. That's just the way some of us are, you know. We see things as that's black and that's white, and then as far as we concerned, the gray color just don't exist. There is no gray area, when we all know in life there's plenty of gray areas, but some of us men don't see it that way. But once she said she tired of doing all these things by herself. She says she miss being in a relationship, miss having someone that can prop her up and have her back, She missed having someone to come home to after a hard day at work, or people getting on your nerves out in the street or at her job, and being able to dump that onto somebody who truly understands and cares, and not just a person who going, okay, what? Get out of here. Someone who truly cares about how your day was, and somebody that if you have a little lax in financial issues and maybe your pay period don't fall right, or maybe you got unexpectedly laid off, just somebody to have your back. You ain't got to worry about how to shift this money over here, how to get this money over to that spot, how to make these ends meet, how to get this child to this place, how to get that child to that place, how to cut costs here, how to cut corners there. She was just saying that she miss it, and sometimes that loneliness and can be so overwhelming that sometimes, it can make you make bad decisions and make you hang out with people that you wouldn't normally hang out with. And I started to think about it. I really started to say, what's the man's version of that? Because obviously we some of us, and let me just stress that, because some of us are really great conscious thinkers, but a lot of us aren't. And I started to think about it. As a man, what's our version of that? What's our version of just wanting somebody there? I guess it would be wanting somebody there. But as a man, I guess our version would be, tired of having to come home, if you're a single man, to an empty apartment and eating alone. Tired of having to cook your own meals. And even though you don't just want your woman for that, but I've come to the conclusion, I've come to the understanding that over the years, that a meal that's made with TLC, tender love and care, tastes so much better than anything else out there. I don't care what restaurant you go to. I don't care how good you claim the food is. When a woman decides that she wants to cook for you and she makes it with tender love and care, I'm telling you, it tastes damn good, because she did it because she want to, and she did it for you. And then you have to in turn become very appreciative, because my mom used to always tell me, when a woman is cooking for you, you always be appreciative of the fact, because you will notice the difference when she's not cooking for you. So I don't care if it's not tasting as great as you think it should taste. You always tell her, baby, that was good. Because people don't understand. Nobody really wants to get in that kitchen. The time it takes to prepare food. I'm talking about when you're cooking real food, not microwavable hot pockets, not that. I'm talking about when a woman decides that she want to cook some greens or marinate some meat, take some time, make you some biscuits from scratch, or bake you a cake, or do something that takes some time. It takes a lot to get in there in that kitchen, because I cook a lot. I cook for my kids a lot. I do the majority of the cooking in my household. So I understand how some days you just do not want to get in that kitchen, do not feel like doing it. So guys, if you got a woman who's cooking on a regular basis for you, today is the day that you go in there and you tell her how much you appreciate her. You tell her just how damn great the meal is, and you make her feel like she has just cooked for the king that you claim that you are. Make her feel like the queen that you think that she is, or the queen that she feels like she is in her heart to you. Today, prove it. You got Mother's Day coming up, and then those are the days and the times where we tend to want to go all out. But how about you just randomly go all out one day? Why not today? Why not today, instead of having her cook, you cook? I'm just saying. But all right, let me get back to the original point I was trying to make. I'm trying to figure out what is the guy's equivalence to feeling like you're tired of having that burden on you to do everything by yourself. And I understand men go through the same thing as women do, but it just seems like for women, it's more of an added pressure to do that because of the way they feel is in their emotions and the way they process stuff work. Because sometimes as men, when we got a lot of things on our plate, a lot of things on our shoulder, a lot of a big heavy load on our back, we just say, screw it. This is just something we got to do, or we don't think about it at all. We just know it has to be done. But for a woman, she worries a lot. She always got to process where the next this is coming from, where the next that is coming from. It's different for her because inherently God made her want to be able to provide and a nurturer for the people in her life that she's responsible for. And so she's always got to try to plan stuff out one step ahead, because she can't let anything creep up on her, because one loose stitch from the blanket makes the whole blanket fall apart for her. So she can't afford to just be like a man, well, whatever comes, I'll take care of it when it comes here. No, she got to be able to plan it out and make sure she has the ability and the means to take care of stuff. Because us men, a lot of times things that pop up, we'll just deal with it as it comes. You know, we don't put any thought into how we want to plan it out. We don't never look at the calendar to see how our pay periods fall. We just get paid and we go as we see fit. And then if our pay period don't fall right, we'll just eat crackers and ramen noodles for the rest of the week and just wait till we get paid, and that's what we do. But a good woman will not do that. A good woman will not allow the household to go into squalor because she refused to look forward and make sure that the household has at least a decent meal. It may not be the best meal, may not be, a 5-star meal, but it's going to be a step above eating saltine crackers, Vienna sausage, and sardines. She's going to make sure you have a semi-decent meal on the table, because for us, we wouldn't do that. When we're broke, we'll go completely broke, and either we'll spend days where we bumming or slumming from somebody else's house, or we like I said, we'll get a bag of chips and a soda and say that's a meal. That's what we do as men, because we don't plan it out and have the forethought like a woman would to make sure that the household is running at a certain level. And a woman is going to do her best to make sure the household stays at a certain level. A man will kind of say, as long as we got a roof over our head, that's all that matters. But a woman want more than that. She want more than just a roof over her head. She want to make sure that the household is to the point where she could come home and be happy with the home that she's created for you and her kids. For us men, we'll be fine. We can have a whole house. We can have one bed and one couch, and it'll stay that way for years. No woman worth her weight in gold would ever let a house stay that way forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But for us, as long as we got a refrigerator, one recliner in wherever we watch TV, and a bed to sleep on, as far as we concerned, perfect. So it's just different, and I struggle to try to come up with what's the equivalence of a man stressing and having these burdens put on them. What's the equivalence of it? Because the women find a way. Some of us men, we get stupid, go grab a ski mask and go rob a bank. We get to the point where we start selling drugs. We do dumb stuff because we can't find a way to make the ends meet. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm trying to make y'all see that, not every man, but I'm trying to make y'all see that women sometime, a good woman, as Collada like to tell me all the time, I'm speaking about the good woman. I'm speaking about the good woman who understands what it takes to keep a household running. And people don't understand, it's pressure. I've been in this position where I've had to play the role of the mother and the father, and I got to try to make sure everybody is satisfied. I got to make sure that each kid got clothes to wear to school, clean clothes. Got to make sure that they're washed. Nobody's there doing that for me. I'm doing every job that a woman would probably do, and another, and the husband would help out. But I understand what the single moms and the single parents go through, because you got to make sure at this particular time, I got 3 kids. So at this, you got to make sure you're doing it all. Everybody's clothes got to be clean. I got to learn how to do hair, because I'm a single father and I got 1 girl. So I got to learn how to do hair. And if I can't learn how to do hair, I got to make the right necessary provisions for somebody to come through and do her hair, or take her somewhere and pay for the hair to get done, because I can't let my kid go to school with a raggedy hair. I got to make sure that they got the right clothes, and every time you look up, those kids are growing out of clothes, or they tearing up clothes, or they running out the shoes, or they busting out the shoes. And then, they tell you, oh, you're making too much money for to get free lunch. So now I got to go pay keep putting money every week on these kids' lunch account. I got to pay for 3 different kids to eat. And I'm not complaining and I'm not bitching about this. I'm just saying that I understand the frustrations and the pressure that she was talking about. It used to be a time in my life where I would say, well, those are your kids. This is your life. You just got to do what you got to do and move on. But as I get older, I understand it's not that simple just to say, well, this is what you do. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you move on. Yes, eventually that's what you do. But it's a hard road to travel when you're doing all of this by yourself. And I find that as a man, until you thrust them into this situation, sometimes we don't understand what the women are going through. Sometimes we don't understand what single fathers and stuff are going through because we only got ourselves to be responsible for, or we just never took the time to think about it on a deeper level than what you see in front of your face. And I wish I can get a lot more men to start thinking deeper than surface level, deeper than just X's and O's and that's it. Everything is just clear cut and dry, because everything is not. How many nights when I was doing it by myself, that I laid down, I was so goddamn happy that my head hit the bed that you just don't know, because you've been running all day long. How many women out there are doing that right now with these kids and the fathers are not there? But we'll say that they miserable, we'll say that they cranky, but they're constantly running. They don't have a moment to close their eyes and just say, okay, for about an hour, I just want to shut out, tune out, turn off. Because they have nobody else for that hour while they're shutting up, tuning out, and turning off. Some with the backup generator would be the man who kick in and in their place. A lot of them don't have that. And I know exactly what that feels like. I know exactly what it feels like to have, you got to do, let's say somebody missed the school bus. You got to take them to school. Then you got another kid that got his doctor's appointment. Then you got to try to get them take this person to the school. Then you got to bring this person to the doctor's appointment. Then when they come back from the doctor's appointment, then you got to try to rush them back to school. And then at some point during that day, you got your own doctor's appointment. Then you got to go take care of that, right? And then when you come back from there, then when somebody else, you're trying to make it back home before somebody get home, because you don't want the kids staying, in the house by themselves, because in this crazy world, we have been told if your kids are found to be by themselves or something dumb happen, you gonna get locked up. So now you're trying to make sure you get back home before anybody else get back home. Even though when we were growing up, as soon as we hit the door, we were always home by ourselves for hours. But now that can't happen, because all of a sudden kids can't, able-bodied kids can't go in, shut the door, lock it, and take care of themselves. But that's another podcast for another story. Another day. So now I'm trying to rush back home. You flying, so now you got to get back home. And when you get back home, the first thing you got to do is start preparing for dinner. Provided, depending on what you're cooking. If you already haven't set meat out, that's unthawing and stuff. And then, right? And then while you're getting that done, you got to get prepared after school snacks, because every time these kids come through the door now, they coming through the door acting like they didn't eat at school, even though you just put $20 in that person's lunch account, $20 in that person's lunch account, $20 in that person's lunch account. But I don't know what they doing with the money. I see it going out the account, but are they eating the food? So you got to get the snacks ready. So it's just a lot. And then by the time that you get the snacks ready, you got to come in and help kids with homework. Nobody's doing that for you. So you got to help them with the homework. By the time you finish one homework, you got to help with the other homework. Then you help with the other homework. And then before you know it, it's dinner time. And then in the process of while you're trying to help with homework, you're trying to cook too. And you just tell them, read it to me, or tell me what the problem is. You're trying to help, you're trying to multitask and do all of this. And provided that, because I at that particular time was doing voiceover work and work from home, so I had to, when I was done with this, I had to go do my own work. So it's just a lot. And just imagine a woman who just don't have the physical strength and the energy like a man do, got to do this day in and day out. And then we wonder why people get burned out. We wonder why when she finally get a chance to go on a date, she just have low patience for you. She just have no time, no energy, no zest just to hit a bullshit from you, because she's been going through it all day, all week, day in and day out. So I just wonder what's the man equivalence to it. I just think that sometimes if men took a little time and try to see what was going on with the women, I guarantee you we would get a better understanding of what it is to be a man and what it is to be a woman and the stresses that they're going through. All right. I just want to leave that right there. I just wanted to say she made me think about it, and I just wanted to put something out there to make you guys think about it. This is the Random Select Podcast, baby. It's the podcast that's all about thought-provoking talk right here on Beat Break 87 FM, Atlanta's new underground station. And it's also where you can find music and talk radio. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me 2 hours. You know, it's sorry to see it go, but I got to move on. I got other things to do. My son has a football scrimmage practice today, and I'm going to try to make that. It look like it's about to rain outside, but either way, I'm going to be there. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with the Random Select Podcast. The Brass King is up next, guys, and Mario will see you guys tomorrow. On the flip side, guys, take it easy. The Random Select is out.
This is Atlanta's new underground station.
How you doing? This is Wood Harris.
Hi, this is Jasmine Guy.
What's going on in Atlanta? This is Clifton Powell.
Hey guys, it's Niecy Nash from TV Land's The Soul Man.
This is Cat Williams.
Check this out. This is your boy RL from NEXT.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Lunel.
What's up, ATL? It's your girl, Ken of Atlantic Records.
Hi, I'm Taraji P. Henson.
WBS 87 Atlanta, WAEN FM Atlanta, WBHH, and on iHeartRadio, home of the Beat Break Morning Show with Sean Garvey, DJ Rollum, and the Wake Up Ladies. Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives. Streaming online at BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
A Reach One communications station.
Download the TuneIn app to hear Beat Break 87 FM on your mobile device and listen to the Beat Break Morning Show. Weekday mornings only on Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
What's up, ATL? Make sure that you check out the D Here Radio Show on Beat Break 87 and BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Tune your radio.
Tune in.
Now.
You can tune in to this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones,
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world. Check it out at TuneIn.com.
Or your app store.
Hey world, it's your man Precise. And I have great news. The Precise Music app is finally available for your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry through Amazon and other app stores. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z. Go get it for all things Precise. Powered by BlackVibes.com. I tried to put it off, but I can't. It's on me. Tried to blame the other man, but I can't. It's on me. Stay in tune. That's Precise Music. Music is spelled with a Z.
We specialize in creating mobile apps for the entertainment industry. Go to bvmobileapps.com, click Get Started Now, create your account, choose your package, upload your content, and click Submit. BV Mobile Apps. Make it easy. Make it mobile.
Listen to Beat Break 87 FM on the go. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app from the app marketplace, including Amazon, Google Play, and the App Store. View photos, videos, and Beat Break 87 shows on your mobile device. Download the Beat Break 87 FM app now for free.
He has performed on stage in front of thousands of poetry lovers. He has sold out shows and rocked the crowd with the best poets in the industry. Welcome to the stage, spoken word artist Patrick Duncan, better known as the Preacher Man.
I am Benjamin Keith Montgomery. I invented a goat propeller. I am the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela.
Critically acclaimed spoken word artist, poet, writer, and the creator of Black on Purpose poetry TV series Wordplay. Patrick the Preacher Man Duncan is coming to a venue near you.
Why is the only time we can come together as a nation is when there are acts of insanity, chaos, or devastation.
Stay tuned to Beat Break 87 FM for updates on Patrick Duncan's upcoming arrival to your city. Visit cdbaby.com/CD/Patrick S. Duncan to order his latest album, What's Going On. Available online, including CD Baby and iTunes.
I want this high to have no affiliation to a political party. I want this high to be spiritual.
For more info, go to BeatBreakRadioFM.com.
Right now, Beat Break Radio is taking it to the streets to find out what's happening in your city.
Hello, I'm Amber Lyons, CEO and founder of From Pain to Purpose. Come out on Saturday, May the 19th from 4 to 8 p.m. and join us as we celebrate the youth in our community at our Healing Pains Through the Arts Teen Spotlight Awards. We're shining a spotlight on our youth who have overcome life's adversities and they're using their gifts and talents to inspire others. Meet us at Green Forest Community Baptist Church, 3250 Rainbow Drive, Decatur, Georgia. Search for tickets now on Eventbrite under Healing Pain Through the Arts Teen Spotlight Awards. Thank you.
We're always taking it to the streets on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.
Wake up weekday mornings to the Beat Break Morning Show and nod your head in bed to the 360 Mix Show. Weeknights on Atlanta's new underground station, Beat Break 87 FM, where music and talk radio lives.